I've been working on cleaning up the parts that go into this, the steering shaft, the ball nut, the little top parts, the keepers I guess. There's screws and the bottom part here. The ball bearings, they're soaking in some low odor mineral spirits. I got this guy all cleaned up, and the wear doesn't look too bad on the ball nut. So what happens is I got these guys all cleaned up. They had a little bit of coating on them, but if you notice, they're a little bit different. They're kind of like mirrors of each other. So what you want to do is you want to get one of each, because when you go to put this guy back together, they'll slip in here, and I don't know if you can see that, but you want the flat piece to go onto that ridge that's in there, and there's another one on the other side, and the same thing for the second circuit. So you want to get those in correctly, because if not, you'll probably have a lot of binding as the balls move around. So that's one thing to be on the lookout for. But once you have it all back together, you then just put this cap on, secure it with the 2 screws, and away you go. What you'll have to do is first put it on. I got the shaft all cleaned up, looks a whole lot better. Used some low odor mineral spirits, that stuff's great. Got all the gook off of it, and then I used my my wire brush to clean the rest of it off. Had that on my oh, what is it? It's a grinding stone, but I got a wire brush on it. So, but this is all nice and cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this stuff in a plastic bag, except for this guy. This will be in a slightly larger plastic bag, and I'm going to coat it with some WD-40 because I don't want this stuff to start rusting. But right now, this is pretty much ready to go and be put back together once I get this disaster cleaned up. Now that shouldn't be too bad because I just have to wire brush around it, clean up on the inside a little bit in here, so that top bushing will go in. I want to wire brush in here so this seat's nice and clean. I can't do much about what's, you know, in here. I guess I could run a rag up and down a little bit, but this is the next thing what we're going to clean up, and that'll be at least that part. Then it's time to disassemble and clean up the bottom part of this steering gear. Alright, I've got all the parts cleaned up, at least for the top part here. Wire brush did a good job. I used my brush that's on my grinder, and also a handheld one and one on a Dremel to get all these little pieces in here. Then it's all been wiped down with the low odor mineral spirits. So this guy is kind of ready to paint. I also cleaned up this race seat here and this seat here, so that'll be ready for the new upper bearing. Even got the little screw hole, the screw going into this guy, all cleaned up. So I'm going to shoot a coat of primer onto this, and then I'm going to take a stab at reassembling this guy, and I'll use some WD-40 to get all nice and lubed up. I've got all the balls soaking right now, and we'll see how that goes. I think it should be pretty good, and we'll go from there. Alright. Okay, this is going to be first attempt at putting this thing back together. Putting some WD-40 on it to allow this to work. So basically what I got right now is putting this block back on, and what we have to do is kind of line it up and start dropping ball bearings in. I've split them up into 2 equal piles. And I'm hoping that they just go in nice and easy. So apparently you're supposed to just fill them in. Keep those separate there until they kind of start coming up on the other side. I'm doing something wrong here. So we'll try again. Maybe it's just one at a time. Once we get that one circuit in, then we do the other circuit. So we'll do that. Alright, we'll come back and try this again. Okay, so we're going to try to fill up one circuit on this guy, and if that goes well, we'll do the other circuit. So here we go. There's 30 balls per circuit, and I've kind of divided them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're dropping, so well, maybe not. Guess it's just a matter of getting them in there. Now, one thing I see is a problem right now is I'm starting to I'm not starting far enough down on the shaft apparently. So I guess you'd want to start way down on the shaft here. Try this again. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So now we're going to put the rest of our balls to these little topper turn guys, pieces. Oop. Might be a better way to do that too. Just hold them together. Watch that little guy. thing I want to do is lose one of these guys in the garage and never find them again. Alright. See if we can't get this. Alright. Seems pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to back the shaft out again. It's got one, now I've got another 30 to go. So far this doesn't seem to be too bad. It's just matter of taking our time here. Let these guys kind of do their thing. Yeah, that's all the way back. So I don't know if it matters if when you put it in. we filled them up. Let's get this secured. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Tighten these guys down. Definitely have to get some gear oil in there. I got 2 more balls I missed. Seems to be plenty smooth though. from. See how this works. You in here? I don't think you're just rolling out. These guys are slippery. Alright, you can get in there. Oh, you can. Alright. Alright, I must be putting, maybe I'm putting this guy in wrong. So that ball coming out. Maybe it goes this way instead of this way. There's definitely a seat on the bottom there. This is supposed to go up against. Seems like I'm always pushing one out. Not quite sure why. Maybe I should just get it like that. Pack this guy back up again. The other side seems to be alright. Yeah, that seems to be right way. I'm probably asking for problems here, but see what this side looks like. Okay, looks to be right. Get this retainer in. snugged up. Imagine it'll quiet down a bit. They both have equal amounts. So I guess as the circuit does its thing, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll spray a little WD-40 in there for now. I know that's pretty lightweight stuff, but I'll keep it from rusting until I get it back in. So that's good. We'll give this a good coat, as we do not want any rust on there. And I'm just gonna kind of press that on. I don't want to lose that. When I'm ready, I'll put the bearing on it. There's the old one. So, next step, do a nice coat of primer on that guy, but I don't want to touch it with these gloves because I've got WD-40 on there. Thanks, guys.